The young and the restless spoilers. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing right now. I am literally shaking. Welcome back to the channel, besties, because we need to talk about this now. Today is a beautiful day to absolutely lose our minds over the most insane world-ending tea ever dropped on our screen. Grab your emotional support water bottles because we are diving straight into the madness. I was mid-skincare and smeared charcoal mask all over the rug when this scene happened, and I literally had to yeet my phone across the room because I genuinely could not process the absolute cinematic mayhem unfolding before my eyes. We are not just watching this show anymore. We are invested, we are spiraling, and I am personally offended by the sheer audacity of Victor Newman. Straight up, the mustache is hiding the biggest, most catastrophic secret in the history of Genoa City, and I am hyperventilating just thinking about the fallout. Bestie, be for real right now. Victor is walking around with a terrifying, massive tumor, and he is telling absolutely no one. He is legit harboring a fatal illness, playing God with his own life, and acting like he can just intimidate a biological disease into submission. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. I need to set the scene because the vibes were completely off from the start. We all know Victor has been acting like a total menace lately, right? He's been orchestrating corporate takeovers, secretly attacking Sally Spectra's company while she is literally pregnant, which is honestly so unhinged, and manipulating everyone in his orbit. But underneath all that signature Newman bravado, the man is harboring a dark, terrifying medical crisis. He has this horrific tumor, and instead of doing what any normal human being would do and getting it treated, he is keeping it completely under wraps. The entire Newman family is completely in the dark. Victoria is out here plotting. Nick is spiraling over Phyllis and Matt Clark. Adam is begging for mercy for Sally, and none of them have a single clue that their indestructible patriarch is basically a ticking time bomb. And who is the poor, unfortunate soul tasked with carrying this massive burden? Nate Hastings. Yes, genuinely Nate. Our favorite doctor-turned-corporate shark-turned-doctor is back in the medical game, and he is the one treating Victor. You guys, Nate is practically on his knees begging Victor to get surgery. He is looking at the scans, seeing this aggressive tumor just taking over, and he is pleading with Victor to let him cut it out. But no, Victor Newman in his infinite mind-boggling arrogance straight up refuses. He tells Nate that he wants to fight it until the very end. He literally said he wants to fight until he dies. Did I say that yet? Ugh, my brain is mush. Moving on, but seriously, who says that? He is basically choosing a slow, agonizing demise out of pure, unfiltered pride. And I cannot even deal with the psychological weight of this decision. Let's just pause and talk about the sheer irony of this entire situation, because my brain is actively short-circuiting. While Victor is secretly dying from a terminal tumor, what has he been doing in his spare time? Oh, just casually manipulating his wife. Nikki has been suffering from these agonizing headaches. Her vision is completely gone after her bandages were removed, and Victor has been taking advantage of her medically induced haze to trick her into signing over her personal shares of Newman Enterprises into a trust he controls. He is literally looting her estate while she is vulnerable, acting like she is the one with one foot in the grave, when in reality, he is the one actively dying. The absolute unmitigated gall of this man. They are officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done with this toxic dynamic, but also I am totally living for the drama because it is a high-octane psychological masterpiece. Wait, I'm glitching. Okay, back to the main event. So, Victor is refusing surgery, Nate is stressing out of his mind, and the secret is just festering. And then the inevitable happens. The moment that made me scream into my pillow at 3 in the morning. Victor is just going about his day, probably plotting to ruin someone's life, when suddenly he just collapses. He faints. The great Victor Newman just drops to the floor like a sack of potatoes, and the panic that ensued was genuinely top-tier television. The sirens, the rushing, the absolute chaos of him being hauled off to Genoa City Memorial Hospital. It felt like one of those classic Y&R moments where the stakes are astronomical, but this time it hits different because we know exactly what is destroying him from the inside out. And don't even get me started on the vibes of that hospital room. Like, why are the walls in the VIP suite always that weird, depressing shade of beige? It's giving abandoned mental asylum chic, and the lighting was so aggressively fluorescent that it was washing out everyone's complexion. I am trying to focus on a life or death medical emergency, and all I can stare at is how the hospital gown completely clashes with Victor's entire aesthetic. He looked so out of place, so vulnerable. But the second he regains consciousness, what does he do? Does he have an epiphany? Does he realize his mortality? Of course not. The second Victor opens his eyes, he starts barking orders. He is demanding to be discharged. He tells Nate he wants to go home and just take some pills. Pills! For a massive, life-threatening tumor. Bestie, he is basically trying to slap a Band-Aid on a sinking Titanic, and he expects Nate to just nod and smile. Victor is sitting there, looking pale and weak, but still trying to exude that terrifying dictator energy, insisting that his family cannot know and that he will manage this his way. I was physically vibrating from the sheer audacity. How can one man be so stubborn that he would rather die in his living room than admit he needs a surgical intervention? This is where Nate Hastings officially becomes the MVP of the episode, because Nate is at his breaking point. You can see the ethical dilemma physically tearing him apart. He is a doctor bound by patient confidentiality, but he is also looking at a man who is actively committing slow-motion suicide while his entire family is oblivious. Nate knows that if he sends Victor home with just a prescription bottle, he is sending him home to die. And Nate, bless his heart, cannot carry this secret anymore. The weight of it is crushing him, especially knowing what Nikki is already going through with her blindness and her own health crises. So Nate does the unthinkable. He commits the ultimate betrayal in Victor's eyes, but the most heroic act for the family. While Victor is resting or arguing with a nurse, Nate steps out into the hallway. The tension in the corridor is so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. And who does he see? Nikki. Poor, blind, terrified Nikki, who has been rushed to the hospital in a state of absolute panic because her husband collapsed again. She is already dealing with so much trauma she literally cannot see the world around her, and now she is standing in this sterile, beige hallway, trembling, waiting for news. Nate gently pulls Nikki aside. The way he looked at her, you guys, my heart actually shattered into a million pieces. He pulls her away from the chaos, away from any prying ears, and he takes a deep breath. You can see his voice cracking before he even speaks. And then he drops the absolute heaviest, most world-shattering tea in the history of this show. He looks at Nikki and tells her the truth. He tells her that Victor is not just overworked. He is not just stressed. Victor is dying. I am literally shaking just recounting this. Nate tells Nikki about the tumor. He tells her that Victor has been hiding it, that the disease has progressed so far, and that it is too heavy, too severe. He confesses that Victor has been refusing the surgery that could save his life, opting instead to fight a losing battle until his last breath. The sheer gravity of those words hanging in the air. Victor is dying. It was like the entire earth stopped spinning. Nikki's reaction. Oh my God, give Melody Thomas Scott all the Emmys right now. You could see every single emotion register on her face in real time. The confusion, the denial, the sheer primal terror, and then the devastating heartbreak. This is the man who has put her through hell and back. This is the man who literally just betrayed her by stealing her shares while she was drugged. She was so angry at him, so ready to fight him, And in one single sentence, all of that rage just evaporates into pure, unadulterated grief. She realizes that the love of her life, her soulmate, the father of her children, is slipping away, and he didn't even have the decency to tell her. He was going to leave her in the dark, literally and figuratively. I am calling it right now. The villain arc is about to go nuclear, but it's going to be a tragedy. How is Nikki going to handle this? She is already blind. She is already in pain. And now she has to carry the knowledge that her husband is on his deathbed, and she has to pretend she doesn't know, or she has to confront him and risk him pushing her away completely, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update because the Newman family is about to be torn to shreds. Think about the ripple effects. What happens when Nick finds out? Nick is already on the verge of a massive drug relapse because he is so stressed about Nikki's health and so triggered by Phyllis dating Matt Clark. If Nick finds out his indestructible father is dying, that is going to be the final push that sends him straight over the edge. He is going to completely self-destruct. And Adam? Adam has been begging Victor for mercy for Sally, trying to prove his worth, trying to connect with his father. If Adam learns that Victor was dying this whole time and spent his final months attacking his pregnant girlfriend instead of making peace, the psychological damage will be irreversible. And Victoria. Victoria is already suspicious of Victor's moves regarding Nikki's estate. When she realizes that her father was liquidating assets and securing his legacy because he knew he was terminal, she is going to lose her absolute mind. The empire is going to be up for grabs, and the power vacuum will destroy Genoa City. I genuinely cannot cope with the emotional whiplash of this storyline. One minute I am screaming at Victor for being a manipulative tyrant, and the next minute I am sobbing because the mustache is actually mortal. It feels like a personal attack on my soul. Like, how dare the writers make me feel sympathy for this man after everything he just did to Jack, Diane, and Sally? It is giving major I cannot even energy, and I am physically unwell. Nate is going to face the wrath of God when Victor finds out he spilled the tea to Nikki. Victor is going to try to destroy Nate's entire career, but Nate did the right thing. He genuinely did. You cannot let a man's pride dictate the destruction of an entire family. But now Nikki holds the ultimate secret. Will she confront him in that hospital room? Will she use her blindness as a shield to hide her tears? Will she force him into the operating room? I am literally counting down the seconds until the next episode because my grip on reality is slipping, and this fictional family's trauma is now my entire personality. I am not okay, bestie. I am going to need 3 to 5 business days to recover from this scene alone. Keep your notifications on because the second the next piece of this puzzle drops, we are spiraling together.